What's going on, guys? I'll be showing you all of the boss weapons you unlock by your first playthrough of the game. Absolute fire! Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Okay, so first on the list we have Ice Blood. So once you defeat Bladebearer, you unlock this weapon. It's absolute fire, one of the best weapons in the game. If you hold down triangle, you get this kind of icicle attack, which is fire. If you press triangle once, you get this attack which splits ice into multiple elements. It's fire. It stuns the enemy as well, and it's pretty powerful. It's definitely one of the best weapons in the game. 100% guaranteed. I think there's only one weapon which is better than this, but we'll get into that. It's the last of, it's going to be shown last in this. But yeah, Ice Blood is definitely fire, and it's strong, one of the strongest. Next we have Blazing Claw. You get that for defeating Emily. This one is basically the fire version of the one we just saw. If you press triangle, it releases like a flame. Again, like Ice Blood, it takes off one eco, but it's pretty good, it's pretty powerful. It's actually stronger than Ice Blood, but for me it's a bit less practical. If you hold down triangle, you get that kind of blazing move where you attack the floor with fire. And overall it's a pretty balanced sword, pretty strong. Here's some gameplay of using it against some enemies. As you can see, the timing is a bit slower to unleash that flame attack, but overall it's pretty strong. You have fire on your sword by default, which is good. Elemental status effects are great. So if you have a fire build, I think this weapon will definitely be useful for you. Next we have Assassin Sickle. Now this is from the boss in the Howling Pit. I can't remember her name for the life of me, but this one's actually pretty it's a pretty interesting weapon. It looks insane by default, and it has some pretty interesting combos. You can press triangle and it does this kind of like water move and it slices up, or it's ice in fact, and it's pretty fire. If you hold down that button, you slide in front of the enemy. You can actually slide behind them, and I've noticed that if you do that move, you don't actually fly off the map. So if you're on the edge and you do that and you hold down Y or triangle, you can attack the enemy or slide behind them and it doesn't actually fly off the map, which is just pretty crazy. So the combos in this weapon are absolutely insane, and I think it's a pretty good weapon if you have a halberd as your main in one of your builds. So again, I'll leave you with some gameplay of using the sword in a specific area against these weak enemies. Yeah, that's the move I'm talking about. So as you can see, I'm doing it and I'm not flying off the edge, which is kind of crazy to me. And this goes right past his shield, right past his block, and I appear behind him, which is useful for enemies with a shield. Super useful, super sick weapon. Next we have the Judgment Edge. This is unlocked by killing Juzo Mido, and this is absolutely trash. I hate this weapon. This move here is when you press triangle or Y. It's pretty slow because you have to unleash that blade and then swing it. Now against normal enemies, most normal enemies aren't really standing still, so you can have an issue there because it takes quite a while to charge. But its normal combos are pretty decent. They're pretty fast. The weapon is a decent strength. The stats are okay, but I think there are better swords out there. I wouldn't really recommend you wasting your time with this one. This is the Judgment Edge from Mido. Next you get the Burning Disaster. Now when you're fighting Bladebearer, you're also fighting Cannoneer, which has this weapon. So this is Cannoneer's weapon, and it's pretty much a bayonet. It is a bayonet, but you have these zoning attacks. So when you press Y or triangle, instead of it shooting like a bullet, you shoot this fire bullet, which is fire. If you hold down Y or triangle, you get this, which as you know was one of the most annoying moves that he'd done, just the flamethrower, which is pretty powerful. I haven't really upgraded this weapon, so I'm not entirely sure about the stats and how it scales per build, but I think if you've got a fire or a bayonet build, it could be a pretty viable weapon. So here's a little bit of gameplay with the weapon, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now we have the Obliterator axe. For the life of me, I can't remember exactly how I got this one or which boss it is, but it's definitely a boss or a mini boss. It's just an axe. It's not great, it's not bad, it's decent. There's better axes out there, but I'll show you for the sake of showing you what it can do. Next we have the Juggernaught Sledgehammer. Now this is Oliver's weapon, the first boss in the game, and again it's a decent axe. You unlock it as one of the first boss weapons, so for the fact that you use it first in the game, it's not bad. I mean, it holds its own. Again, the better axes in the game. So pretty basic moveset. And finally we have the Argent Wolf Kingsblade, the best weapon in the game, hands down. This is my favorite weapon and my main weapon. You unlock this by defeating one of the last bosses in the game. I'm not gonna spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but yeah, once you defeat one of the last bosses in the game, you unlock this sword, and its triangle has this kind of like celestial slash Getsuga Tensho kind of move, which is absolutely insane. It takes off one equal, but if you press it and you hit the enemy simultaneously, you don't actually lose anything, and it's super fast. It's insane, and it takes off most damage, and it's way faster than its normal attacks. So I literally just, in any boss fight or any normal fight, I spam Y or I spam triangle, and it's free. It's insane. It's literally the best weapon in the game, and it's 100% my main weapon. And I think once you unlock it at the end of the game, you should definitely equip it just to see if you like it, because it's actually OP. I think it's gonna get nerfed soon. Anyway guys, if you like this video showing off boss weapons you unlock after the first playthrough of the game, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.